People are panicking with the slightest drop in the market yet again, with Bitcoin currently trading at $113,000, down from 120K from last week. Yet people are already calling for this to be the end of the bull run. Altcoins are dead yet again, with Ethereum still trading above $4,000. Right now it's at 41.85. Anytime it goes down even so slightly, people just lose their minds for whatever reason. And I want to take this opportunity to reiterate on my stance, which is that the bull run is here, so is the altcoin season. And that's why I am going to double down on my bull market portfolio by putting in $100,000 as a new trading challenge into my new swing bots, into altcoins, which are going to be really trying to catch this dip and capture the next upside. So I'm going to show you all the positions I have today, which are the exact same setups that I have shown you last week with the last live stream, with the targets I want to use the bots to buy the dips at. And I have now put in $100,000 in total into these positions with the goal of reaching potentially 4 to 5x by the end of this altcoin run. So let's see. But before we get there, if you guys are new here to the channel, welcome. My name is Dennis. I'm a crypto angel investor for the past 6 years, and I have invested in over 100 crypto startups. On this channel, I share views on market trends and investing strategy to build wealth in crypto. If you guys have any questions, especially about using the bots or the trade setups, please leave your comments and questions in the chat, and we will do a Q&A at the very end. And without further ado, let me show you quickly this piece of work that I have done before right here, which is, don't be like this. Why is it going down? I've made a similar type of video every time that this has happened, when the chart literally looks just like that. It's straight up green for a couple months, and then the little bit of blip down, people just lose their minds. This is basically what Bitcoin looks like right now. Where is the dump? I don't see it. This is a weekly chart, mind you, but even on a daily, I mean, where is the crash? People are all of a sudden, I can already imagine someone in the chat saying, hey, look, it's not the time to be bullish. Markets are crashing. Brother, Bitcoin is back to the same price that we are at 2 weeks ago. So what are you worried about? I just don't get it. So I don't know how people just have this huge tendency to not be able to swallow any type of red. This is barely 1 week of correction. So I don't know how you can define this as a crash at all. Okay, same thing on Ethereum. I mean, look at this. Higher highs and higher lows still well intact. And we just broke above these resistances at 4K. And we are now not even back down to retest 4K yet. We're still at 41.80. So all in all, I don't see any sign to be worried. Now, obviously, if you haven't been following our content and starting with the large caps, like I have mentioned multiple times on live streams, you want to start with your, make sure you hold your Bitcoin, and then you start with Ethereum, XRP, Solana, BNB, ADA, Link, Doge, whatever, right? Those are all fine. Those are still in their uptrends. However, if you have just aped into 1 million market cap shitcoins, yeah, some of them die right away when Ethereum does one of these. When Ethereum has even just 1 week of 12% correction from the recent high, some of the shitcoins literally go to zero. So now you're feeling that. So if your portfolio is all of a sudden down like 50% because of this, you got to rethink your strategy. And that's why I have reiterated so many times, you got to start with the basics with blue chips in this early stage of the altcoin rally. Okay, so before we get into the charts, right? First of all, don't panic. The other thing to consider in macro is two things. Number one, Bitcoin's current bull market support is at 94,000 now. This is the 50-week SMA, which keeps trending up slowly. That's this dark blue line at 94,000. So that's the bull market support that Bitcoin needs to absolutely hold above in order for us to remain bullish. So that's all you need to know. Yes, we could revisit maybe 100K to 110K this range and potentially touch the 20-week SMA. Usually this would be a value range. If it gets there, you start buying with the 50-week SMA as the ultimate stop loss on a weekly time frame. So we're still very far away from that, so you don't need to worry at all. The reason why a lot of people are panicking and you start to feel a little bit of fear is because this week particularly is a weird week. So we have the Jackson Hole event coming up, which is very significant. It's once per year that the Fed Chair Jerome Powell has to take in order to brief the markets, brief the central bankers. And this obviously has to do with the Fed's policy, whether they want to loosen up or tighten up for the rates and for liquidity. Now, most people already have priced in and know that in the September meeting for FOMC, on September 17th, most likely we're going to get a rate cut of 0.25% or 25 basis points. This is not going to change. No matter what Powell says, he can't just come out and say, hey, look, even though the unemployment is terrible, we're still not going to cut rates. He's never going to do that. However, because the Jackson Hole speech can really set the tone for what's to come next, it introduces a bit of uncertainty for the next FOMC meetings after. So the big question is here. Last year, when the Fed first cut rates in, I believe, October 2024, don't quote me on this, right before that happened, Powell used this speech to confirm that the Fed was about to cut rates for the first time in more than a year. Okay? So this was obviously very bullish for the markets because it not only signals, okay, what they're going to do one time at one meeting, but it also signals what they want to do for the few meetings after. Now, this time around, it's going to be pretty tricky because inflation is high, but unemployment is low. So these are two contradictory goals of the Fed now. So Jerome Powell can't have the cake and eat it himself, so to speak. He can't choose a optimal strategy to both decrease inflation and increase unemployment. These two go opposite of each other. So if he cuts rates and signals he wants to cut more aggressively, then obviously inflation is going to go up, but unemployment will actually come down. More people get jobs. But if he does the opposite and says, okay, we can only cut one time, we need to keep rates relatively still higher to combat inflation, then the markets won't like it, and inflation will be more controlled, but unemployment will still continue to rise. So that is why people are unsure of what Powell is going to say. For sure, he's not going to say that, yeah, we can't cut rates. What people are most expecting is for him to indirectly signal one cut, 25 bips in the September FOMC meeting. If he says anything different, for instance, okay, maybe they have been too late and they should cut double, 50 bips, then the markets will be very bullish after that. So really, it comes down to this. If the Fed do cut rates in September, the Powell will want to communicate something. He can either take a wait and see approach, data-driven approach, which is usually how he is, data-dependent, make a decision every month, or he can say, okay, we have been late for a while. I don't want to be late anymore. Let's try to cut 5 times over next year. If he says something like that, then the market will be very bullish. That's the uncertainty that we don't know yet until the Jackson Hole speech this Friday. So this is something definitely we should all watch, and I'm gonna give you guys a update right after it happens this week. Okay, but regardless, the first rate cut that we have had for over a year is happening in September. This is not gonna change. So honestly, no reason to be bearish at the moment. It's just a matter of how quickly can the rate cuts come after that. Can they follow through with more, and will they pause QT and increase liquidity? So those we don't know yet. That might be updated in this Friday's speech. Okay, some other things to note. As long as Bitcoin continues holding, our altcoin backs will also be good because Ethereum is very strong. So 2 things. First, we have already covered Ethereum price just now. I mean, this is not a bearish chart by any means. Not only that, but when you look at ETH-BTC, this is still in an uptrend when it comes to Ethereum versus Bitcoin ratio. And this is a long-term uptrend on a weekly candle basis. On the daily, it's even clearer. So we have low, we have higher, high, higher low, higher high, and then wherever there's also a low here, and then wherever the next low is, we just don't need to drop, we just don't want it to drop all the way down here. As long as this is held, ETH is still in an uptrend of outperformance against Bitcoin. And the fundamentals speak for this as well. You guys have been hearing a ton about these Ethereum strategy companies, okay? Tom Lee, Joe Lubin, Bitmine, SharpLink Gaming. So that's not all Fugazi, okay? So these guys have been buying crazy amounts of Ethereum for their company treasury. Take a look at this. Here is the strategic ETH reserve tracking. And just today, yesterday, Bitmine and SharpLink Gaming bought their largest single day buys of ETH since they started. You see the largest bubble here, okay, on August 18th. And specifically, Bitmine on August 19th, by this morning, over the last 2 days, they have bought, what is this? 373,000 Ethereum, which is worth, the numbers are skipping my head here. Reserve 6.3. Yeah, $1.5 billion worth that they have bought, added to their treasury over the last 2 days. 1.5 billion. And here is SharpLink Gaming. So their largest day so far as well at 600 million that they have bought. And these are not only for ETH treasury companies. The ETH ETF is even crazier, right? Not so much for the total number, but for the comparison against Bitcoin. Take a look at these numbers. So this is the tracking of Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF, so BlackRock, Fidelity, etc. And this is the Ethereum spot ETF. So over this month so far in August, the Bitcoin ETF has had a slight outflow of $140 million in red. That's this little candle, sorry, not that one, monthly, this right here. 139 million in outflow right here. When you look at the ETH one, this is crazy. This month, ETH ETF had an inflow positive of 2.83 billion in August. This is nuts. So the institutions are actually buying way more ETH than Bitcoin in both the treasuries and the ETFs. I don't know what changed for them, but it's happening. We don't need to argue, oh, hey, look, like fundamentally, ETH is better than Bitcoin, whatever. I'm not saying that, but clearly they see ETH as cheap compared to Bitcoin at the moment. The ETFs clearly say so. Whoever BlackRock's and Fidelity's biggest clients, when they're looking at these crypto ETFs, they are saying, hey, let's buy more of this ETH ETF and let's stop buying for the moment on the Bitcoin ETFs. Because clearly they see ETH ETF as cheaper. They see ETH price valuation as cheaper than Bitcoin right now. And that explains a lot. That perfectly matches up why we are seeing ETH BTC ratio trending up in uptrend. ETH outperforming Bitcoin. Very clear. So why is that important? Well, of course, for our ETH bags and for our ETH trade that I'm going to show you in a bit, the swing trades, I think ETH is still going to have way higher from here. It's very clear to me. But not only that, also for altcoins, Bitcoin dominance will continue to fall because Bitcoin dominance is heavily driven by Ethereum. So as long as Ethereum continues outperforming Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance will fall. Now, some people will say, hey, look, that means, it's ETH season only. It's not altcoin season. I don't agree with that because you are effectively moving the goalpost. We have always tracked Bitcoin dominance as the altcoin season indicator. When Bitcoin dominance trends up, it's Bitcoin season. When Bitcoin dominance trends down, it's altcoin season. It has always included Ethereum. And Ethereum has always had futures ETF. Just like Bitcoin, since Bitcoin had futures ETFs, Ethereum has had future ETFs. So I don't know how you can all of a sudden separate it now, because what's going to happen next is by the end of October, Solana is going to have spot ETF. XRP is going to have spot ETF. And then if, BlackRock's clients, BlackRock won't have Solana ETF, but Fidelity's clients, Vanguard's clients, if these guys, other institutions start buying Solana or XRP ETFs, are we going to say it's Solana season or XRP season instead of altcoin season? Right? Something to ask yourself, because XRP is just as big. XRP is about half the market cap of Ethereum right now. If XRP pumps 2x, that will still drive down Bitcoin dominance a lot. By that point, are we going to say, hey, look, it's not altcoin season, it's not Ethereum season, it's exclusively XRP season, but not altcoin season? That's just not really, that's further moving the goalpost away. So I would say that institutions drive altcoins a lot, yes, but Ethereum fundamentally is still an altcoin. If the institutions are buying Ethereum through the ETFs, then chances are I think they will also buy Solana ETFs and XRP ETFs when they get approved. So that's why I think this is all very good sign for Bitcoin dominance. And just very simple, Bitcoin dominance is in a downtrend, even on the weekly. We have been waiting for this. This exact same signal that we have been following since down here, okay? It finally broke below the 50-week SMA. And it's showing a weekly lower low, lower high and lower low. So high here on the bounce, a low, and then this low is clearly below here on the daily and on the weekly. You see the weekly candle closes below. So as long as the next bounce is not all the way above 62.5%, we are all good. So even if it does this, it's still likely to trend down. That's all we need. So we have been monitoring this exact same signal. We can't just say, hey, look, because the first time that it runs, which has always happened this way, where Ethereum runs and then altcoins run. All of a sudden, this time, the signal that we have been waiting for 2-3 years doesn't work anymore. Why? Why do we all of a sudden not look at Bitcoin dominance anymore? I think this is more PTSD than anything, that people don't want to accept that it's altcoin season, but it is. It is altcoin season. So that's why I look at this and I'm just very happy. I'm very happy that it's finally happening. And that's why I am putting in 100K literally into the altcoin trades that I have shown you guys last week. Today, I'll show you just in a bit. Okay, so with all that being said, with all that context, what are the trades? You can follow my last live stream right here, which is from August 13, 5 days ago, last Friday, last Thursday, where I have outlined my current positions in the top 20 coins. Namely, they are all the swing bot positions that you can find with the link down below in my trading bot spreadsheet. So these are the swing bots for Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Doge, Cardano, Link, Hype, XLM, Stellar, Sui. Very simple. These are all blue chips. If you're holding these, they're not going to go crazy down when Bitcoin makes a 5% correction like we're seeing right now. So you're totally fine. And in fact, this is a really good time to be depositing into these bots because they are better than my initial entries last week when I first set these up. But the same ranges still apply. So for example, for the ETH bot, when I first opened the ETH bot, it was at 4,000, but this is 10 days ago. This is currently still very close at 41.65. And then for some of the bots I opened last week, this Solana bot, for example, this was at $197 when I opened it last week, but now it's 178. So you're actually getting a better entry than last week. This is why I'm very happy to be doing this today as the market is correcting. I want to buy. When the market is doing this, I really, really want to buy. This, I'm just very happy that I have liquidity to buy right now. Okay, so I have already set these up, most of these up. I'll show you right now. So they are right here. I have a 100K total in this wallet. And this is all on Ponex. And I have a total of 8 positions right now. I have left 2 that I haven't opened. I'll show you that opening live so you guys can walk through this with me. But here's what I have opened right now. So out of the total 100K, I want to limit myself to 10 positions. Again, usually this is the sweet spot for me. Even using bots, I don't want to keep track of too many things. I have explained why in this last live stream as well. Just hold these, focusing on the top 10s, and then once some of these hits your take profit, you move to top 20, and then you move down again. When those hit your take profit, you can go into top 30, etc., etc. That's a much more gradual way to ease into the altcoin season. Okay, so I have, so out of this 100K, I do have 10K into this Bitcoin hold bot. So this is the same hold bot that I have kept open for like 2 months now, with the super wide range, 94K as the bottom of the bull market, which is the level we covered earlier, the 50-week SMA right here, 94,000-ish. That's exactly this lower range, 94,013. And then the upside target, 200K. So much later, I can hold this spot for literally a year from now. It would still be fine. The reason why I still have this is because I want to keep track of it. And there will be times when the market chops a lot. In that case, I can take profit from these bots or close them and then put them into this hold bot, let it ride the Bitcoin chops. And once the altcoins start to see uptrends again, I can then take some profit out of the hold bot, and then open new swing bots into altcoins. So I do have 10K in here. The other 9 positions I'm going to use for altcoins. So let's start from the top. I have put 10K into each of these bots, but because there is a auto reserve, that's why you see the actual investment not being 10K. You see it's 7.5K here because there is an extra margin that's automatically kept on the side of 2.5K. This is so that the bot protects you against liquidation. And if you want to buy more, you can withdraw this extra margin to use to buy more. But when you choose auto reserve when opening the bots, it will automatically set these levels. Okay, so you see for the ETH swing bot, I have already opened it with lower price range 33.50, higher price range 48.50. So this is back down basically to our entry on ETH. So that's this trade right here. Long position right here, targeting the previous all-time high 48.50 with a stop, and the bot will stop buying right below this low here, this last higher low at 33.50. Very simple. And the bot will just keep buying if it gets lower, and then it will take profit as it gets higher. Very simple strategy. As long as Ethereum respects the uptrend on the daily, this is going to resolve itself in our favor. And even if it chops like this, the bot will continue to buy low, sell high in this range, which is what grid bots do best. Okay, I'm not going to walk through every single position with the same trade setups because I have already shown each of them right here on the last live stream, the exact same levels that I have shown for ETH, for XRP, for Solana, for Link, for Hype, ADA, Doge, every single one of these, right? All the same swing bots, same settings right here. It's just that I have opened them and I put in more money because I think this is a great buying opportunity. And personally, I see these bots bouncing back really quickly. Okay, so each of these I have just spread out evenly for 10K each. So far I have opened ETH, XRP, Solana, Doge, Cardano, Link, Hype. Okay, so that's 7. The first 7 here. I have left 2 just so that I can show you guys what this looks like if you want to open it and buy the dip with it. So there are 2 that I still haven't copied. They are Stellar XLM and Sui. So when you go on the link in the description for the trading bot section, you'll see this XLM swing bot. You click on here and you will get this page, right? Same one here. So it will show you, okay, when I first opened the bot last week, it's at 44 cents. Now it's at 39 cents. So it's better. And that's why you see a current profit rate that's lower because the bot actually has a better entry now. So that's why I want to double down on this. So you click on copy the bot after you have already signed up to the exchange, etc. Of course, then you will see this. So in here, I'm going to put in 10K, the same amount that I put in the other bots. You want to check auto reserve because this will automatically keep some extra margin on the side. For these swing trades, this is good. It'll automatically find the level that's relatively safer to protect your liquidation. So all you got to do is 10K, check auto reserve, and you don't even need to put 10K, right? The minimum investment here is $100. So anyone can do this right away. Activate a bot. And you see here, it will have an estimated open amount of 53,000 XLM, which is part of the position, and it will keep some of that position on the side to buy more if price goes down further. Click OK, and the XLM swing bot is opened right here. Okay, and now I'm going to go into it by clicking detail, and you can see some details right here. So the grids and the ranges are automatically set based on the settings that I have kept in the spreadsheet. So you see the parameters, you can check on this side or right here. Ranges are 36 cents to 62 cents. Same as my XLM bot settings right here, 36 cents to 62 cents. Number of grids, 220 grids. Same thing as right here, 220 grids. So what this effectively does is it places 220 orders in this way, where it adds a whole bunch. First, it will buy some position. So it will buy 53,000 XLM at current price. I'm not sure if it can. That's roughly, how many is 40 cents? 25K. So it spent 2.5K to buy, and it kept the rest to buy more. So the rest of the money that it kept on the side are placed in these buy orders. You see every 0.15% or so. It keeps buying and buying until 0.36, which is the downside target, the lowest range. I'm gonna move myself. And then it will keep selling and taking profit until the upside range, which is 0.62. It will only show the first 50 orders here, but it has more sell orders on top. That's literally what the bot does. So the reason why these bots are good is not because it maximizes your profit. Okay? If you want to maximize your profit, you still need to be a very good trader and do discretionary trading. What I mean by that is, even if you are bullish on the market and you know that XLM is a good coin, or SUI is a good coin, whatever, you still need to time the market. So let's say last week, right, on XLM, when we first made that video, XLM was up here. This is actually a really good example because this is the same long position that I showed on stream. So you see how I have showed this position on stream. If you wanted to maximize your profit, you needed to avoid all of this drawdown, because you would need to enter in the exact at the best time possible. I don't know how to do that. I know for a fact that we are in an altcoin season. I know for a fact that Ethereum is pumping. XRP and Solana are both going to pump pretty soon. And just shortly to follow after that are the other top 10, top 15 coins. And XLM is like top 10, top 11 right now. And the setup is very good. And especially when XRP pumps, XLM always pumps. That's all I need to know. I don't need to particularly know, okay, XLM for sure has reached a weekly low at 42 cents or 39 cents or whatever. As long as I have a rough range of where the last low is and where the recent high is I want to target, that's all I need. So I can use the bot, I open it, the bot will scale into the position and scale out of the position for me. So this is why it's really good to use these bots for trending coins, for coins that you know is very popular, everyone's watching, and you just really want to get a position in. Using the bots, by design, it doesn't let you put all your money in at one time, right when it's super hyped up. It always scales in, which is really good for the sake of helping you, navigate the market when it's altcoin season like this. Every week from now on, it's going to be rotations and rotations. Remember last week, right? When we made that live stream on the 13th, Ethereum was literally at 47.50. And people were saying, hey, look, is Ethereum going to go back down below 4K? My answer then was, if you give it long enough time, it could. Because that's simply the price of Ethereum 1 week before. And look at us now, we are already at 41.50. So then people, because Ethereum was so popular, and because it pumped a lot, everyone wants to take a position in Ethereum that they can monitor right away. So what ends up happening is most people think that they can just time it. Okay, if they watch enough live streams and watch top 10 creators in crypto, 10 different analysts, and if 5 of them says ETH is going to go down to 4K, then they're going to wait until it goes below 4K, and then they can go all in on ETH. The truth there is nobody knows. In that short of a time frame, within 1 week, we could have easily blasted above 5K and then made a correction and then go back again and then make another correction. So given enough time, it always happens. So that's why there was honestly no reason to try to get a perfect entry, because there is none. Usually the best way to do it is to scale in, but too many people don't have the time, they don't want to do it, and the bots really help you. So in these scenarios, right, like last week, I knew that everyone wanted to look at ETH. We needed to talk about ETH, even though ETH was already near all-time high. So by opening a bot like this and having it continue buying until these lows here, which is actually a long enough time frame and a uptrend invalidation level like this, right? If it drops below here, then that would be invalidation. So because we can set the low range here, we can show people the TA, let people have a something that they can get into using the bot. So the bot buys a little bit of ETH and it will continue to buy until it drops all the way down here. This is the power of the bots. And also, a last thing to note, because last week when we opened the ETH, we didn't open the ETH bot at this level, but when we covered it last week, the ETH bot setup looked like this, where there was basically no upside left until the all-time high, but all of the downside here, if ETH drops, you want to buy. So if you saw that video back here last week, okay, and then you saw this ETH bot, which was almost at the take profit. Even if you put money into the ETH bot then, what the bot would have done for you is that it would have bought a very tiny amount of ETH because it's so close to the take profit, and then it would have kept most of the stables on the side to buy. Because depending on when you saw this video, the bot adjusts itself. So if you saw the same bot up here and you use the same bot, it will not let you buy the top. Instead, it will buy like 5% only and kept 95% on the side to buy the dip. So it automatically scales the position for you based on how close the bot is to the take profit target or the lowest range, the entry target, the lowest entry target. So that's why I really like these bots. No matter when you get into it, obviously the lower the better. But even if you get in at very high, the bot will not screw you over. It will automatically keep most of your position on the side. And it will still show you, okay, you are technically in just for a little bit. So yeah, that's why I really like these bots. Okay, let's go back to the last bot that I haven't opened. So I just opened the XLM bot right here. And the last one is the swing bot. So this one right here. Copy the bot. And you can just do the exact same thing. 10K position, auto reserve. Same thing, activate the bot, and it will do it for you. So without copying, I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. If you want to change the ranges a bit, or if you want to do this for another coin. So very simple. I'm going to go to the sweet chart. Okay. And I'm going to, how do I move this one? I'm going to create the bot from scratch using my settings. So you want to go to the futures bot section, go to top right, click create grid, create futures grid bot using the trading pair that you are already on. In this case, SWI. Make sure that you are taking a long bot. We are in a bull market. You don't want to take a short position. This is the biggest alpha I can give you. Stay long, okay? These things will never short for you, which is very, very important. You want to stay bullish in a bull market. You don't want to go against the trend. Do not be shorting, okay? So then next, you want to enter in the price range. In this case, for SWI, it's low range 3.26, high range 5.32. These are updated every time I change them. So you can enter in 3.26, 5.32. Just gonna check it one time. Yeah. And you can click recommended number. Oh, this is actually a new setting that I have put in, recommended number of grids. From what I have heard from the team at Pionex, you want to make the profit per grid to be about 0.15% to 0.3%. So that's roughly 200 grids to get this setting right here. Okay, this will show you the preview of the grids. So you see it will keep buying until 3.26 and it will keep selling until way higher, 5.32. Okay, next, you can type in how much you want to invest. In this case, 10K for me. And make sure you choose arithmetic mode. You can hover over here. It will tell you arithmetic mode is useful in a bullish market because of how these grids are spread out. Okay, click create. So this is what it will show you. Because we are getting in the bot at a very close price level to the current low range that we have set. So SWI is at $3.44. The low range, according to my TA, is 3.26. So because we are very getting in at a really good time, really good discount, the bot will buy most of that position right away, 78% of it. If I zoom in here, you'll see. It buys 78% of the position right away, and it will only keep 12% on the side because we are already in the dip. So this is the opposite of earlier where if we got into the Ethereum bot at a very high price, then it will keep most of that money on the USDT side and buy only a little bit of Ethereum. But because we are getting in the SWI bot at a very good price level, it will buy most of that for you right away. Okay, so I click OK. You can see the other settings right here. So estimated liquidation price, actual investment, blah, blah. Okay, click OK. So when you choose auto reserve, it will keep a little bit on the side, extra margin to cover your liquidation. Click OK. And it has been created right here. SWI USDT futures grid. So when you do it this way, the only thing that will be different is the name. You can totally do this yourself. You don't need to copy my bots using that link. It just gives you the easy, one-click setting. But when you do your own futures grid bot, it will tell you with the default name, SWI USDT futures grid. Whereas if you copy my bots, they will have been given these names that I have set myself, which are the swing trades. So if you want, you can then go in the details and you can click more and then modify the bot name to be SWI swing bot. Okay, this is how I like to keep track. And there you go. That's the exact same as just copying the bot directly. Okay, so that's all the bots. So far, all my 100K has been deployed. I think this is going to be a really good time to buy. That's why I'm starting this literally today. I've just opened these, you see, like last hour. And what's my target here? So if you watch my first video covering how to use these crypto trading bots from last month in July, based on what I have seen other people's performance and my 3 months of testing of these bots, over a 1 year time frame of the bull run, these bots can generate roughly about 1.5x the returns of a versus just holding spot using the grid strategy, automatically buying low, selling high, that arbitrage. So what that means is if the Bitcoin cycle goes very slow and it lasts for 1 year and it chops up like we have seen over the last 2 years, okay, where it goes up, it chops for a few months, goes up, chops for a few months, goes up, chops for a few months. If it continues doing this for another 12 months, then what's likely to happen is whenever it chops like this, in one of these sideways conditions, the bot generates more income because it has these automatic arbitrages, buying low, selling high. So if it does this, then the bot can roughly generate 50% extra returns, or 1.5x. So if Bitcoin does a 2x, so from 113K goes to 226K, then the bot can roughly generate 50% more over 1 year. It's not a lot. It's not some crazy 10x number. Based on the same grid strategy, the other altcoins will only be more volatile than Bitcoin. So let's just take the conservative scenario of 50% extra returns for the altcoins as well. So that's what I'm trying to aim for using these strategies here. If I can do these swing bots correctly, focusing on long, of course, and I ride them over the next, hopefully 1 year, if this thing can last for 1 year. At times it will chop, at times it will swing up. I want to outperform just holding the blue chip altcoins by about 50%, not a huge amount. So then you can look at, okay, if XRP does a 2x, what's my, I believe the target I have put is around $9 by the end of the cycle. So that's about 3x. Ethereum between 10 to 12K, so roughly 2.5x. So XRP 3x, Ethereum 2.5x. Then you look at Solana, I believe it was 600 to 700, my target, when I'm in my evergreen video that I made. So that would be about 3.5x. If you work down the list, right, for Cardano, it's over 3.5x. For Dogecoin, it's about 4x to an all-time high. So based on those, depending on what your core focus is, most altcoins outside of the top 10 is going to be able to do about a 3x. So if you take 3x times 1.5x, you have 4.5x return. That's roughly what I'm aiming for. If I can hit 4.5x to about 5x, that'd be very solid over 1 year. When you think about those numbers already, like, I'll be very, very happy if I do that. Most people, including myself, were not able to do this throughout this cycle so far because altcoins have been basically down only in a macro downtrend where Bitcoin dominance goes up. But assuming Bitcoin dominance goes down from here and thus the weekly downtrend, we should get the bias out of our head that altcoins are going to go down. No, altcoins are starting to go up consistently. So that's why I do want to challenge myself and aim higher. If there is a bull run, especially in altcoins, and I can't even do 5x on constant swing trading over 1 year, then I'm really not doing much, because even holding XRP and Solana can do 3x, 3.5x. So what's the point? Like, what am I even doing here? So that's the challenge part of this 100K. I'm not saying, oh yeah, it's guaranteed to do, 10x. That's kind of a far stretch. I am not confident in doing 10x in anything at the moment. But to slightly outperform XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano type of returns, instead of getting a 3x, I get a 4 to 5x over 1 year, that is. I think that's doable. So that's back to the challenge part of this live stream, of this whole video. I'm starting with 100K. I want to target about 500K in this constant, trading bot strategy. Not every week, more so every couple weeks to a month. That's what classifies as a swing trade. About 2 weeks to 1.5 months or so that I want to rebalance these until the end of the cycle. If I can do a 5x on top of this 100K, turn it into 500K, I will be very happy. So you guys can feel free to follow along with me in doing so. Worst comes to worst, like, these bots are going to be just fine, because it's just doing the blue chips, and it's really pacing itself, entering very slowly and then exiting very slowly, just gradually starting. So I have good faith. I have good belief that this is going to be a pretty sustainable strategy for altcoin season, easing into it. As I have been reiterating many times, we don't want to ape, crazy amounts into low caps. And using these bots will really help me do that gradually. As usual, appreciate you guys for joining the live stream. Hope you guys are finding this useful, and stay long. Don't short the market. We are in a bull run, for not only for Bitcoin, but also for alts. Manage your position, whether you use my bots or not. You can scale in the positions yourself, or just look at the TA I have and then, take positions scaling into the longs gradually. Do everything you need to stay in your long positions. Keep holding your spot, especially the blue chip alts. They will bounce back. The signs are all there. And then we will have a good time very soon when the market is back, just shortly. It's not going to take that long. That's it. Thank you guys for joining, and I will see you on the next video and next live stream. Bye-bye.